Good evening, Sangha. community, dear ones, dear to me anyway. Happy to be back with you after missing a week. Thanks, Mary, for co-hosting. It looks like you have the Mission Dharma handle. We'll wait a couple moments. I see Jim is with us. Well, the more the merrier who are willing to put on your cameras. We can say hello to each other as we often do.
Hey, Howie.
And say where you're calling in from. Please feel free.
And from Santa Rosa.
Okay, here we go. Now we're talking.
Jim from Southwest Washington.
Hey, Jim,
Hello.
welcome.
Katie from San Francisco.
Hey, Katie.
Hi.
Can't wait to be in the city on Saturday.
Another Jim from Santa Rosa.
Jim, is that Jim in Santa Rosa?
Yep.
Great to have you with us.
Yeah, great to see you again.
I don't know whether you're aware that your video is off, but that's okay.
Is it? Doesn't show.
Yeah.
I'm Kathy in San Francisco.
Welcome, Kathy.
Thank you.
Anne-Marie from California.
Didn't it sound like Anne Marie? Glad you're here as always.
Marion Sherman in Richmond.
Yay, Mary. Yay, Sherman.
Kinda in Regina.
Where's our Regina person? I can't find her now. Anyway, glad you're with us.
Dale from Mill Valley.
Hey, Dale. Glad to see you so soon.
Yeah.
Linda in San Francisco.
Back in the city. Glad you're here. Or I'm not there, but I will be. I'm up in British Columbia still till Thursday.
Margaret from Tucson.
Hey, Margaret. Glad you're with us.
Jeff, San Francisco.
Hey, Jeff. Welcome.
Tucson, Lori.
Hey, Lori. Welcome.
Here, thanks.
It's Mark here from sunny Edmonton.
Hey, Mark. Maybe I'll get a chance to see you in a few weeks.
That'd be great.
San Francisco.
Howie Gelman from sunny San Francisco.
Glad you're with us, Howie G. Not the same without you. Anyone else?
Don from Long Beach, New York, Long Island.
Welcome, Don, wherever you are. Oh, there you are. Now I see you. Glad you're there. Okay, I think we have enough to have strength in numbers and support each other to anchor our attention, hold us a little bit to the only reality, the only direct reality, which is right where you are. And please receive the blessing and the benefit of and support of everyone who is practicing with you, and as well offer your support, intentional support, to be a benefit to each person by staying with it and modeling the willingness to put your attention in what's happening right now and stay there as long as that lasts. And all of us together can use a very accessible anchor for our attention in the present moment. When our eyes are open, we can use the fact that we see each other and we see the little boxes, and we hear each other's voices, we feel our humanity, and that's a beautiful connection. But sometimes when you're not here, we still have a reliable anchor that we also use this evening. In fact, when we use that anchor, it actually allows us to be together a little bit more intimately. And that anchor is our physical body with its senses. So we close our eyes and we release the use of our eyes and seeing right now, outer sight, for our support and anchor. And instead, we rely on the felt experience of our sitting body, and something we can call on that's completely portable. Wherever we go, there we are with our body. And our body itself, if we are anchored in our body, it helps us to accommodate the stream of experience. In general, the stream of experience in the world, stream of experience in our thoughts and images, and the stream of experience in our body. But the immediate, direct experience of anchoring in the body also has other benefits other than just anchoring here. It also allows for the fruits of bringing attention together with body, which is more calm. And you may notice it already, just from feeling your body with your eyes closed. Other benefits, you'll notice the way your body, without trying to be still, it stills. And that relationship between the attention and body, the stilling body, has another fruit, another byproduct, which is a stilling of the thinking mind, at least momentarily. And the benefit from all three, the harmonizing of the body, the stilling, quieting of our minds, has the general benefit of more peace. And the way we fulfill this longing for peace is we just keep our attention anchored in our body. We feel the touch of our body as it sits on the cushion, the touch of the breath as we breathe in and out, a feeling in our body when we emote, when emotions arise, feeling in our body when we hear, feeling in our body when we think. Every experience is more workable when we stay connected to our body. And if we want to refine this attention a little bit more closely, a little more intimately, we don't simply feel the general experience of our body, we experience the waves of the breath, the touch of the breath. And we let that be our primary anchor in our body, welcoming all the secondary support of other sensations, but we let the breath be in the foreground of our awareness. And we feel its touch and we stick to it and we spread out all around it. We don't miss any part of that in breath and out breath, wherever we feel it most clearly. And without trying to let go, the past vanishes. The future, no sight of it. There's just this breath, just this moment. We commit ourselves to this simple connection, attention to body, attention to breath. And no matter how many times our attention drifts into the imaginary world, each time we wake up, we recognize that as a return to mindful attention. And to support that mindful attention, we feel our body again, feel our breath. Keep it simple. Just this breath, just this moment, just this waking up again and again. To this unfolding now. Sometimes, as a way of anchoring the attention in the body and breath, it's helpful to accompany the breath with a little soft, transparent whisper in the mind, acknowledging the present experience that's happening. For the breath, it could be in with the in-breath, out with the out-breath. If you're feeling the touch of the breath at the chest or belly, it could be rising, falling. Most of our attention and sensitivity to the feeling of the breath, but 5%, this little whisper in the mind that helps us to stay connected to this immediate felt experience. In, out, rising, falling. Or providing that same mental note to any predominant experience. Aching, aching, burning, burning. Thinking, hearing. Just the facts of what's occurring without any commentary, without any embellishment, without doing anything about our experience, without undoing. Without commenting, just acknowledging the presently arising sense experience, just this moment, just what's happening, just this breath. Is there awareness right now? If there's awareness, you've already arrived at the mountaintop. Now that you're here, you might as well notice what you're aware of. And then notice how you're relating to what you're aware of. Are you open to your present experience? Are you resistant or reactive to it? Are you trying to make it other than it is? This we also include in our noticing. This will determine whether we struggle or strain is by how we're relating. So just notice. Don't have to do anything. Just notice that you're noticing. Notice what you're noticing. Notice how you're relating. Just being aware. Supported by the anchor of the body and breath. Just this moment. I loved sitting with you tonight. I feel very grateful for your lifting support, just your being here, staying with it. If you've sat here with us before, you know I'm always curious what happened during the sitting, and want to welcome you to speak about any questions that may have come up about your practice or about the instructions, any topics that emerged, anything that you would like to unburden from your heart and mind. Please feel free. Just either raise your hand or use the raised hand function. And Mary and I will keep an eye on who may be interested to speak. And please feel free. Your comment or question will be highly likely beneficial to someone else. So it's part of the support that we offer each other by this Sangha, this community. So, are there any comments, questions, topics that emerged? Margaret, please feel free to unmute.
There. Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Okay. Well, I don't know about this question, but a couple times I've been meditating. It didn't happen tonight. I was falling asleep tonight, but times when I've really been zoned in on my breath and everything else seems to disappear, and it scares me.
And
It scares me that my rich life is gone. My rich life may not be happy or sad or I mean, it may not be what I want or what I don't want, but it's what I have. And so when it seems to go away, it scares me.
that's, yeah, because I can't speak for you, but we tend to get afraid when we're on the edge of what's familiar. And when we let go of the familiar, it's also the opportunity to discover what's that like, to dwell in it. And if you've sat with us before, I often refer to a teaching from one of my favorite teachers, a guy named Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, who said, when the mind is free of its usual preoccupations, its usual thoughts, its usual ideas of your life, for example, when the mind is free of that, the mind becomes quiet. And when your mind becomes quiet, when there's a kind of an abeyance of thoughts, and you're just zeroed in on that experience of breath, if you stay with it, he says in that quote, you will see that your mind is permeated. If you stay with it, it's permeated with a light and a love you've never known because you've been caught in the idea and the story of your life, in your rich life. You've never known, but you soon recognize it as your natural state, this state of stillness and presence and love. It says, once you've tasted that, you'll never be the same person again. The unruly mind, your whole world will come back and obliterate that vision, but it's bound to return if you get used to it, in other words. So it's natural to be afraid when you first taste your mind free of its past, free of its future. They were only memories anyway, and they're only plans anyway. Your life is really in that moment is the richness of being immersed in the breath. But the fear prevents you from actually getting used to it. And so that's natural. And the beauty of mindful attention is we use the fear as just another thing, as another thing to notice. We don't let it derail our practice. We just notice, oh, this is accompanying with fear. So, and on one hand, I'm celebrating with you that you experience that stillness. I'm also, I will also celebrate with you that fear came and you noticed it. It's not a problem. It's just fear.
I have to be courageous.
Yeah, and initially, but when you start to then note it, when you see more regularly, fear is just fear. Fear is fearing. There's not a lot behind it. It's really, you're not in any danger, except you've given up some ideas of your life
Okay.
momentarily. They do come back. Where's your rich life now?
It was gone.
And is it back now?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's always coming up.
Yeah. So I shouldn't put too many ideas in your head, but see if you can find the richness in even that in that experience. Because often when when you're zeroed in that way, although it's not an end in itself, often there's that steadiness is suffused with lots of light, love, peace, stillness. There are many different byproducts, but if we get caught up in the fear, we won't feel the fruits of that.
My main thing that I realized that everything was gone. And so I did, it was startling. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, so hopefully I'll get
That's actually a deep insight into the discontinuity of everything. Everything goes. It comes and goes all the time. And you you got between the cracks where we usually just think of it as a stream that's always happening, but things are popping on and off all the time. Even that experience, where is it? It's gone.
That's right.
Anyway, thanks for speaking up, and hopefully that fear won't derail your practice. It'll just be another thing to notice. It's actually good news. It means you're about to move on to a wider understanding.
Thank you.
Take care. Mary, can you help me with who's next? I guess it's Linda. Please feel free.
Hi, Howie. I woke up this morning feeling pretty depressed and down and out, which is it's not that unusual, but I realized my daughter is having chemotherapy for this horrible cancer she has, and it's not working very well. So today, for some reason, it really started to hit me hard that I am very attached to her more than I thought. And so this is the first time I actually went with the full meditation with you guys, usually like 5-10 minutes before I get up. But anyway, I felt towards the end of the meditation, just comfort. I felt this light and comfort over me and over her as well. And it just put me so much at ease, at peace. I know that it's going to be okay, but sometimes I forget. Sometimes I get caught up in, like you were saying, the fear. But I really felt a lot of relief, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
And yeah, but it's natural to have all kinds of waves when someone we hold so dear is going through stuff, and that you're going through that as a mom. So we have to both appreciate when the relief comes and the support and the understanding, the wisdom that things come and go, but also be able to accept when we're feeling blue. It seems completely natural. But the good news, as you describe, it changes. And there is space. So anyway, good luck with everything.
Thank
Glad
you.
you're here tonight. Glad you made it to the end. Sue Jung, please feel free.
Hello, Howie.
Hello, good
Um,
evening.
Good evening. This is the first time ever having so much emotions while I was sitting.
Mm,
I was not quite sure because I haven't practiced for a while or whatsoever, but so much of emotions, like my loss, even like the drama that I watch, they're actors and leaders of like that emotion. It just brings up so much of tense in my body. So like usually I will say, oh, this is pain or feeling, but I just was not even able to utilize anything at all. Briefly, I was able to settle a little bit with focus on my breathing. But I'm just wondering, do I have to be like, there is another things that I was thinking of. Maybe all just brings my mind as like there is a body, so I detach myself from my emotion. I'm not sure what to
yeah.
do.
Well, there are many, many skillful
Mhm.
means, many skillful ways of accommodating the emotions because we don't try to stop them, we don't
Mhm.
try to get through them, we don't try to fix them or figure them out. We mostly want to, all the training is to be able to accept the truth of what we're experiencing without holding on to it, without pushing it away, without getting too identified with it, turning it into
Mhm.
me. It's a wave. It's like a wave on the ocean, a big wave. But it's just a wave. And
Mhm.
so we train in order to be able to accommodate those kinds of experiences. And sometimes we are not able to make room for them, to accommodate them, to be able to even know what to do. And those times it's actually useful to redirect your attention to something that you can accommodate,
Mhm.
like the breath or
Mhm.
even open your eyes and look around or something.
Mhm.
But the more we practice, the more we just treat that experience as an opportunity to be aware of and receive and welcome strong emotions, feel them,
Mhm.
and feel what happens to them, become interested in them. But our
Mhm.
mind, because we're not used to it, that much strong emotion, it almost registers an alarm right away,
Mhm.
as though there's a problem that needs solving. And then our mind gets very active, strategizing, figuring out
Mhm.
what to do about it. And
Mhm.
all of that engages we get very much into the identity of the fixer, of the one who's going to figure out, instead of what mindfulness does and why it's very simple but very powerful, is it doesn't do any of that.
Mhm.
It just knows, but it doesn't react.
Mhm.
And then it's mostly welcoming. So you don't want to get into the project of detaching or all of that, which is it sounds like you're just trying to soothe yourself, but what it does is it gets you too busy.
It is. I even take a deep breath, like through your mouth, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, I've been practicing so long time. You
But
shouldn't be having this."
sometimes we panic a little bit and then we start looking for solutions. So it's okay. You want to always want to bring an environment of kindness to whatever. And that may be the first antidote in those moments, is just kindness,
Mhm.
just a kind of gentle soothing. This is
Mhm.
hard. This is difficult right now. Let me just be kind about it.
Mhm. Will do. Thank you.
And keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great. Mark, please feel free. Last, I think you'll be last tonight.
Hi, Howie. Thank you very much for that meditation.
Pleasure.
Um, there was something you said that really struck me that I know I've heard before, but I really heard it tonight. And just to paraphrase, I think it was something along the lines of everything in life is best met when you're in this body. And that really struck a chord. Instead of time traveling or in fabric land or wherever, that really sort of struck a chord. But it also brought to mind and heart the difficulties of living in this body with all its sufferings and problems and suffering of others. So it's not always easy to do, as
No, not easy to do.
we need to escape sometimes. And
Well, we will escape when we're not able to handle things. We'll escape anyway, but we generally are able to be more resilient when we can accommodate more of what's happening in our body. It simplifies our life. It anchors us to the present moment, and it helps us at least have a counterbalance to the mind's tendency to leap ahead and or replay things, and it helps us cut through the dramas that we create in our mind and helps us see that life is actually more simple. And it really is, this tradition is a in the body practice. It's not an out of body practice, like you said, time traveling. In fact, I brought along my favorite sutta tonight. I can paraphrase it, but one of my favorite suttas that's couldn't be more simple and apropos of the body. When the Buddha was meeting with a group of monks, he said, there's one thing to these monks, there's one thing that leads to calm, that leads to focus, that leads to a more pleasant dwelling in this very life, that leads to the release of the torments of the mind, of the what are called kilesas, that leads to the heart's release, that leads to all the factors that of supreme knowledge and that allows them to reach the fullness of development. What is that one thing? He's asking the monks. And then he answers his own question. He says, it's mindfulness directed to the body. So if you do that, even the difficulties that happen in our body, our body calms down a little bit. The mind calms down again. When our attention is settled in our body, it tends to render some of our freak out a little bit. It just pacifies it. So many benefits to the being able to be more resilient when you're in your body. And
thank you for that.
You may not have been here when I've quoted Ajahn Chah, the wonderful forest master from Thailand, who was Jack Kornfield's teacher. He had a mantra, which is a wonderful one to live by, that you just have it just going in your mind. Don't let your mind leave your body. That's his. So,
thanks.
Glad it struck you. Glad you're with us too. So I'm going to go back to gallery view here. And let's see where we're going to go from here. I remember in the sitting tonight, I said a few different times, keep it simple. The Dharma is very simple. It's very uncomplicated. Now, our thinking mind is very complicated. It's extraordinary how detailed, how complicated, how it can go into so many domains, and that is incredibly fascinating. But the Dharma is very simple, and it has a simple intention, which is to suffer less, to fulfill that universal longing for relief and peace. And when I kept saying, keep it simple, even though I was referring to the instructions, what kept popping into my mind, and partly from the simple relief that at least I experience from just practicing together with other people. That not much has happened in my life since I got to this sitting tonight, except somehow just being here and connecting with you. Something in me lets go a little bit. And the fact that we, in a sense, function as an anchor for each other and support for each other, it actually is, it's meaningful. I know I talk about this a lot, but, and keeping it simple, it made me think of what is chanted every day in monasteries, in meditation centers, in people's homes. This very simple ritual that is done again and again. And it, for many people, it's really just a ritual of connection to a lineage, of a kind of a feeling of kinship with others who one shares past or shares certain views, certain joys with. But it's the ritual that's done every day that sometimes is not appreciated for both its, even though it's simple, how profound it actually is. And that's the ritual of the refuges, of going to refuge. That can hear implicit in all the teachings is that we're all looking for refuge. We're all looking for relief, a place of rest, a place of confidence, a place of safety in the middle of this completely uncertain life and crazy life. I got a little derailed by the chat. Let me get rid of the chat for a moment. So the ritual, let me getting back to the ritual, is every day, and we chant it in Pali. It's Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dhammang Saranang Gacchami, Sangham Saranang Gacchami. I go to the Buddha for refuge. I go to the Dhamma or the Dharma for refuge. I go to the Sangha for refuge. Now, for many people, that's just an external formality, part of the club, etc. But each of those refuges is so profound. Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. I go to the Buddha for refuge. What is the Buddha? What does that mean? I go to the Buddha for refuge. And what is the I that goes to the Buddha for refuge? Who is that? What is that? So we have to use conventional language. It's as though we're making a journey and we're going from one place to another. But really what we're saying is, I can put my attention so many different places. But instead of putting my attention in the past, it's gone anyway. Instead of putting my attention in worrying about the future, it's a dream. Instead, I'm going to put my attention, instead of putting my attention on instead of putting my attention on experiences and things and situations and people and stuff, instead of putting my attention on those things as a source of relief, as my source of refuge. The chant says, I go to the Buddha for refuge. And historically, as we all know, what most people think of is this person like you and me who was called the Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, that became the Buddha. Why was he called the Buddha? He was called the one who was awake. So when people chant, what's often overlooked, not recognized, is that this I go to the Buddha for refuge shouldn't be left to just the example of that historical person who awakened through his own efforts. That's a great inspiration, fantastic. But in the most immediate sense, when you chant, I go to the Buddha for refuge, you're actually chanting, I go to what that person Siddhartha went to for refuge. I go to being awake like a Buddha. And where is that wakefulness? Where is that awake? How far do I have to travel to be awake? Well, if you further explore the teachings of the Buddha through his own experience realized that the Buddha, that which is awake, is the natural state of our own mind when we are aware and awake. So we're basically saying, I go to the Buddha. We're saying, I go to that in me that's awake and aware. It's that simple. I go to the Buddha for refuge. It really helps to chant this every day. Not so that you can become a more committed member to the Buddhist tribe. The Buddha wasn't a Buddhist. The Buddha was awake. I go to the Buddha for refuge. I don't have to travel. I don't have to become. I don't have to get rid of anything. I simply have to go to that in me which is awake. Pure simplicity, being aware. Often when I talk about the immediacy of going to the Buddha, I often refer to a poem from the great Japanese monk poet Ryokan, where he put it very succinctly. I'm giving it a whole elaborate description, but he cut through and he said, Buddha is your mind. He's not talking about your thinking mind. Buddha is your mind's essence. He says, Buddha is your mind, and the way goes nowhere. Don't look for anything but this. If you point your cart north when you want to go south, how will you ever arrive? So I go to the Buddha for refuge. That's the start point. That's the path itself. That's the end of the path. But along the way, what keeps us in the loka, in the domain of the Buddha, what keeps us awake are all our experiences. Everything we're experiencing. That's called the Dharma in the most immediate sense. It's what's ever happening. It's whatever is true. what's true tonight is I was working out something that I want to bring to Mission Dharma another night, having to do with anti-Semitism and the world right now. But I'm not going to go there tonight. But that's the truth of what was showing up. And when I say I go to the Dharma for refuge, that's what was happening. That's what's been happening in me, in this mind stream. And so when I don't go to, oh, I want to get rid of that, don't want to, it's not the topic tonight, but some night it will be. But whatever it is that's showing up, Linda was talking about the waves of heaviness or depression, or being depressed or sad. Others are experiencing something else in different moments. All changing conditions, but if we go to what's happening for refuge, we get to have the benefit of experiencing what it is that's happening and recognizing it for ourselves, that it is a changing experience. That whatever it is that's brewing doesn't completely define us. It is just part of the stream, sometimes the stream of distress, but all streams are in a state of movement, flow. And so we don't land on whatever we're experiencing. We bring the Buddha, bring that wakefulness to the Dharma, to whatever we're experiencing. And this is something that we can rely on. We can render every experience that we go to for refuge, for opening to it, we can render every experience workable when we meet our experience with the clarity of the Buddha, that is awake and aware. It's out of that we find the skillful means to respond to whatever it is that's happening in our mind and body. So the recommendation is we don't go to distraction for refuge. We don't go to the refrigerator. We don't go to our smartphones or to the mall. We don't, even though the consumer machine is telling us you got to keep it going, keep greedy to keep it all going and keep yourself going, keep yourself happy. We don't go there in the Dharma. We go to whatever's happening right now. And we don't look for anything but this in the immediate sense. And for me, it's hugely relieving to know that I don't have to navigate or go to any other place for refuge other than the experience that I'm having right now, the truth of whatever I'm experiencing. And then, of course, we can expand that, the truth of what we're experiencing in our world right now. We go to the fact of the way it is. Some of our frustration, our depression, our sadness is because we're not actually going to the way it is for refuge. We're caught up in our reaction to the way it is, of wanting it to be other than the way it is. And the reactive mind is different than the mind that is going to the way it is for refuge, the truth, the Dharma. Now, once we become aware that we are reacting, that's why I asked you, are you aware? What are you aware of? And how are you relating to what you're aware of? Because then you can actually become mindful of your reactions. That becomes the Dharma. That's the truth. Oh, I really don't like this. I'm really afraid, as Margaret was saying. Once we begin to open to, oh, this is fear. I go to the, I wouldn't say I go to the fear for refuge. I go to being aware of the fear for refuge. I become interested in the presently arising experience. Keep it simple. We're biting off so much. We have to unravel, unpack, deconstruct, become, get rid of. The Buddha is completely disinterested in all of that as a methodology. The Buddha simply wants to know the Dharma the way it is. And then trusting that, going to the Buddha and the Dharma for refuge, allows us then to see that within us, within me, is this, because awake isn't just awake. Awake is also cognizant. And when there's cognizance, there's intelligence, there's discernment, there's a capacity then to respond to a situation. When I'm caught wanting things to be other than the way they are, I'm filtering all my experience through reactivity, not responsiveness. So you've probably all heard before, the idea is to respond, not react. And the Buddha allows us to be responsive, allows the clarity to then allow us to resonate with what's going on in a way that allows us to discover within ourselves the skillful means to deal with our situation. That's a talk in itself, which I'm not getting into tonight. So keep it simple. Last but not least, the third, I go to the Sangha for refuge. And that's a little bit, as I often say, in an experiential sense, in the here and now, the Sangha is what sustains us. It keeps us here long enough to learn something. If we just are alone in our practice, Buddha, Dharma, without the supportive power of practicing with others, our practice tends to devolve into the common denominator of what the world is mostly involved in, which is shopping and distraction. But if we both support others and receive the support of others in the form of being together with others, it helps us stay long enough. And as I think I was even saying last week, staying long enough so that our mind starts to have that experience of not wanting to be somewhere else. And it's unfortunately all too rare. If we were really to track our experience moment to moment in our life, we would see that much of our mind stream is filled with some desire to get out of where we are and onto something else. And that's the torment of the mind. That's the kilesa of craving. And for there to be an abeyance of that craving, the fading away of that, and an immersion in the life that we're actually living. My own experience is that without Sangha, without each other, we don't sustain our practice. Of course, we can expand what we understand to be Sangha. Sangha is nature, and all the trees are our Sangha, the earth is our Sangha, the waters are our Sangha. But it means being awake to all the support that there is in this world, and then offering our support to all in this world that needs support. Keep it simple. I go to the Buddha for refuge. I go to the Dhamma or Dharma for refuge. I go to the Sangha for refuge. And where have I really gone? I've just stayed here for a change. And when I can remember, I don't look for anything but this. Because I know if I point my cart north when I want to go south, I won't arrive. And most of us, we really want to arrive. And we imagine that we're actually going someplace with this life. But the way of the Dharma, it goes right here. It goes nowhere. There is no way, as Thich Nhat Hanh, I think, said, there is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. Or Dogen, Zen Master Dogen said that practice is not a means of enlightenment, it is enlightenment itself. So may we all be awake and go to the refuge in that wakefulness. May we all take refuge in the Dharma and the way things are. And may we all take refuge and offer refuge in the Sangha and the community. So thanks for listening. So I think I'm going to, Mary may want to add her own 2 cents, but I want to encourage everyone to take advantage of at least those in San Francisco, and then inviting everyone from outside of San Francisco to join in our hybrid, but to join in the rare experience, even though it's every couple months, but that's more rare than it used to be. It used to be every Tuesday for countless years, filling up a church with Sangha. But we don't meet very often, so it's that much more precious when we do. And this coming Saturday, we'll have a 4-hour half-day retreat in the Mission District. All the information I know is in the chat or is in tonight's bulletin. But come one, come all, take advantage of what you can both receive from practicing with others and also what you can offer by your presence. And those of you who are not in San Francisco, please come and pick up on the good vibes of what it's. I think that you really can catch it virtually from people who are actually experiencing it together in person. So come one, come all. Meanwhile, love being with you tonight, and we'll keep doing this. Be back with you again next Tuesday. And we function based on an ancient tradition of dana, of those who offer support in the form of teachings, receive support in the form of you providing for the requisites of the people who offer the teachings. Mary was last week, and you provided for her requisites, for her life by supporting her financially. And I'm here because you've supported me before, and I will be at the next group and the next week because if you support me tonight. So thanks in advance for your generosity. And I know that it was put in the chat how you can offer support. And may we all practice all the expressions of the Buddha, which is generosity, kindness, patience, clarity, wisdom, skillfulness, just love. Happy days. And please feel free to unmute and say good night.
Thanks so much, Howie.
Thank you.
See you Saturday.
Can't
Thank you
wait.
so much.
Thank you, Harry.
Thank you,
Good,
Howie.
That was great.
Be well,
Thank you
everyone.
all.
Thank you
Thank you
very
for the
much.
questions.
Bye.
It was
Good night,
very-
everyone.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Howie.
Be
Thanks,
there Saturday
everybody.
as well. Hope to see you.
Yay.